and welcome to Student Voice. I'm Isabella Flores. So most people my age and most people I know are addicted to some form of media one way or another. It may be TikTok or Twitter or Insta or Facebook or watching anime between classes or even playing video games, reading books, you name it. But all these forms of media have an impact on our lives. And understanding and managing that impact is not something that we're very good at. So with us today are
Bailey Brantingham,
Nevaeh Blanchett.
I'm Martin Hussey.
I'm Daphne Davidson.
Okay, and we're gonna talk about all of this. So media, how it affects us, etc. So what form of media has impacted you guys the most? And why would you think like that's the one that you consider?
Well, specifically, especially like recently, TikTok, obviously. I'm on it every single day. If you go on my stats on my phone, it's gonna be the most used one next to Spotify. But it's like they have everything on there. You can just scroll. I can get news, I can get entertainment, whatever I want. And honestly, Instagram, Snapchat just doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't know why. But
I would definitely agree with you, especially through the pandemic. TikTok was like a savior. Like I was never bored watching it. You get to different sides of TikTok. Never go on TikTok after 3 a.m. It's a dark place. I also find a lot of my music nowadays on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like smaller artists are definitely. I know
sure.
you don't have very many social media.
Yeah, I've never actually been on a social media, but I've always been getting my music from YouTube and just whatever is on my YouTube playlist, whatever's on my recommended list, that's what I listen to. And it's always been a good listen.
Yeah. I would agree with what everyone has said about TikTok. It's very addictive, and especially late at night. But it, like you said, I find a lot of my music on it, and it's not really a good app, but it's not a bad one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever gotten to class early and you're like, well, I'm just gonna like sit here, like I have 5 minutes, like I'll just, and then you end up look at the time and you're like, oh, class started half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Have you guys done that?
yeah, and I'll just be like, not even with sound, I'll just be able to scroll and I'll be like, oh, I don't like this, and then scroll and scroll, like no captions, anything.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
30 minutes early to class today, and I was like, well, TikTok, here we go.
I mean, it has to happen. And then do you guys feel like this has been like an overall positive or negative effect on your life?
Both. I think it's a deep, dark hole when you join TikTok, but it's not a bad hole. I mean, I get music, everything that I know is from there. Like, I've become more active in politics and everything that's going on in the world. But it's just, I spend so much time on it. Like, that's not great, but I wouldn't give it up. Like, I wouldn't have not signed up for it ever. I love it, and it's part of my life now, so.
I would say last summer when the Black Lives Matter was happening, TikTok was a really good place to go to see what was actually happening off the news. And so I think that it can have a lot of pros to it about discovering new artists that you may have never even heard of, or just listening to politics and learning, what's happening that the news are not willing to cover. So
I'd actually have to kind of disagree with that because I don't really think that there's, as far as getting news from individual social media accounts, I'm not sure if that's the most
reliable.
Yeah. Like I always get ads for the vaccine and for everything on YouTube, and like it's all contradictory.
I think it depends on what side of TikTok you're on. And like there are like different sides based off the algorithm. Like I'm very much on like LGBTQIA plus community and a lot of like the political, like what's happening, especially during the election. But you definitely have to double check your sources. Like don't automatically believe what you're seeing the first round.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that you can definitely be on a certain side of TikTok, but that's the thing about it, is that every side is getting represented on TikTok in some way or another. But like a lot of like young people today, they're not gonna sit down and read the news. Like I know I won't. Like I would rather just scroll through a however long video, short little video, find out what's going on.
Well, do you
That's
guys
just my
like
opinion.
scroll Twitter for your news?
I
Like
love Twitter.
I will scroll Twitter and I'll be like,
Like-
oh, what's the New York Times saying today, or what,
Right.
you know? That's how I
What's
get my
happening in
news
the world?
because it's like just, it's a short little like not even 150 characters and it's easy. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, like that might be interesting, and then you click it, and if the link takes too long, then.
And when it's on like the Twitter trending pages, you know it's important. Like you
Yeah.
gotta
Yes.
check that out.
Kim Ye right now.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, Pete Davidson.
Oh yeah, he's something. So, how do you guys think that we typically see the effects of media on our society, like as a population?
I think that as a population, we are definitely more like addicted to our phones, a little bit less out of touch with the real world. But I feel like a lot of people are now more getting involved in that way. Like I see more people every day fighting for different causes like BLM, like getting more information on the COVID pandemic. I've gotten a lot of information that way that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So I feel like we may be a little bit out of touch, but we are becoming a little bit more conscious of the news around us.
Yeah, I don't really see in the next 10, 15 years for like news stations to be as popular as there are now, especially as we are getting older and they're younger generations. Like, I don't think I've ever watched the news for a few years at least.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, like, they're boring.
Really? Like it's true for me too.
Either.
Wait, you watch the news?
I don't
You
watch
watch
it.
that?
Okay, so like when COVID first started, like my parents were freaking out. Like we lived in Denver, so everything got shut down, everything was closed. And my parents didn't even want to go to the grocery store, like triple masked gloves, like hazmat suit basically, like would strip as soon as they got into the house. So the news was like, it was like a news station, like 24-hour cycle. So like during like the first quarantine, yeah, we were like on the couch, we were like, so what's new, guys?
No,
What's
I
new?
have ADHD. Like, sitting there listening to the news, I'm like, can I just read something? Like, can you just, like, give me the information? I don't want to have to come back in, like, 4 hours for this story. I can't
Yeah.
do it.
I mean, I get that. Do you think like all this media has affected your ability to like focus?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Like your attention span and stuff?
Like, there's definitely not times when I'm trying to do my homework and I'm like, okay, I have to take a break, get on TikTok, scroll for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe I should do my homework.
Oh, you get off?
Yeah.
I don't get
This
See, I turn my phone off and it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh, no.
Put my phone on Do Not Disturb so like I'm not distracted.
I have to be with people studying,
Yeah,
else I
this
don't do
is-
my homework.
This is one of the main reasons why I chose in-person classes, because when I had to do Zoom in high school,
Oh no.
I was like napping or on my phone or something. I passed, but like I actually do want to learn a little bit maybe this time, possibly.
Oh, I hate
Yeah.
Zoom classes.
It's
I
so
I
bad.
tried to take calculus with Zoom classes, and I failed.
I did pre-calculus.
I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Amanda has some stories from Zoom pre-calculus.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, truthfully, I'm just not responsible enough to be on a Zoom class.
Like, do I watch YouTube and scroll on my phone for 6 hours, or do I actually go to Zoom class? I'm like, yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
maybe
you
both,
log
maybe.
in and then you
Usually
scroll
you
down
Yeah.
TikTok.
mute yourself, you cut the camera.
You can be like, oh yeah, I can do both at the same time, but then again, multitasking's a myth. So
Yeah.
When they don't require cameras to be on, you know what I'm doing. And it's not going to be class, okay? I'll be on that phone.
Well, okay, I saw TikTok. Surprise, surprise. And it was like some guy, so you know how you can make like the wallpapers? He made a wallpaper of a picture of himself like sitting there looking. So
I
he just
applaud that.
wasn't
So
in the
creepy.
frame.
That's very smart.
And it was just like
actually.
him like doing class. Like
No one would ever think.
and
the
it was just a
difference.
picture.
Yeah, there's so many school hacks now on TikTok.
School hacks.
Like,
5-minute crafts. You
yeah,
guys seen those?
5-minute crafts.
Okay, so I feel like we've established, and I may be wrong, but that media and the way we consume it is kind of addicting. You know,
yeah.
the little minute clips, 150 characters on Twitter, and I know that because I'm on there a lot.
It's memorized.
Yeah, it is. It's in here, like my credit card number. So do you guys think that there's like a specific one that's more addictive than others? Like, you think like Instagram's more addictive for me right now, keeping up with Kanye. But do you think like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, I don't know.
Reddit, oh my gosh. Don't get me started on Reddit. Like, that's where I go when I need some help. Like, if I need answer something
yeah.
around the city or just like anything in general with something I'm interested, r/, let's go, come on, Reddit.
Yeah.
But it's like also another thing is like how addictive it is when I'm like scrolling on TikTok for like hours and hours, and when they show you that, hey, you've been scrolling for a while now. I'm like, do I care? No. But then also, even when I've just been scrolling and they don't even send me that message, I'm like, I'm tired of this. Like, I need to get off my phone, and then I'll just get on Instagram. Like, I'm tired of TikTok. Let me just get on Instagram.
Yeah.
I would say TikTok is really, really addicting. And my entire, like, family is on TikTok. So it's not only, like, me watching the videos, it's people sending me videos. So then I go to those videos, and then I go to those accounts. And then I go down the rabbit hole, and suddenly it's 6 a.m. in the morning. I got class at 9:30.
Yeah, like,
It's happened.
I feel like
It's happened.
I feel like some people are a little bit, including myself, a little bit more addicted than others. Cause like I have friends on TikTok, and like the other day I just checked my messages, and it's just me, just all the way up, me sending TikToks, and then maybe them sending one, and then me sending another 6, and I'm like, oh, this might be an issue.
Yeah, I would agree. TikTok is really addicting. Like I'm guilty of spending too much time on it, and like my sister and I's text messages, it's just sending TikToks back.
It's not even words anymore. It's just
No,
like
it's
a
It's
TikTok.
like, hey, look at this
TikToks.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll reply with another video, like,
Yeah,
you
I
get
don't even
me.
know what would
Emojis.
happen.
Or it's just like on iPhone, you can double click and do the like
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the
the heart or the haha, and that's just what we do. We don't even say words.
See, I don't even know what would happen if, like, the same thing that happened with, like, TikTok, like, shutting down. Like, I don't know what I'd do.
Like Vine.
Remember when that was
Like
going to be a
Vine.
thing, though?
Yes.
They were going to shut it down?
Yeah, Trump was, like,
Yeah.
trying
Oh
to
my
get
gosh.
it banned from the United States.
I was
Such a
freaking
weird
out.
time. I was
Everyone
too.
started panicking.
And everyone was
I was
making
like,
like
what
goodbye
do I do?
videos.
I mean, if it was, then there would have been another version that came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok is like the revival of Vine in some way, because for so long, since Vine shut down, we didn't have anything like that. I think that's why TikTok became so popular, like, because you couldn't like watch videos like that anymore. You had to do YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat. Like Snapchat didn't even do that at the time.
Like the YouTube compilations.
Yeah,
of all
like
the old
YouTube
ones.
Vine compilations,
Yeah.
like.
I think it's gotten so bad that, like, when I'm on TikTok, I'm like, oh, I should go watch YouTube. I'm like, these videos are just way too long, like 10
Right.
minute videos.
I
I'm
don't
like,
have the attention span.
I
for
don't
like,
that.
I don't
either.
have the attention span to sit here and be watching all this.
No, I can't
I'm
do
like,
it
give me the
anymore.
short version. And I think that's really, like, important to look at. Like, our attention span is so short now. And it just makes you think of, like, the younger, like, I have young siblings, like they just have the attention span of, like, a little dog in, like, 5 seconds.
Also, watching more shorter videos on TikTok and Vine rather than like a 10-minute video on YouTube, it's a lot easier to keep your attention because it's multiple different. It's
Yeah.
a different video every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like massive information input and like these tiny little videos I could get from like one YouTube video, but it's like I don't have the time for that. Just give me these videos. Just give me these 30-second videos. That's
I
what
want
I
the
need.
1 minute video where the girl is talking like so fast you
Right.
can barely understand her, but you understood every single thing she said.
No, what makes
Yeah.
me mad is they're like, come back for part 2. Just do
Oh,
the
no.
1 minute video.
I'm
Just do
like,
the 3
just
minute
like-
video.
I'm like, there's a part 2, there's a part 3, like, now you're just wanting the fame, like,
Yeah.
and then I get mad, and then I unlike their videos. I'm like, you don't deserve
You go back
for
through.
That's how it
doing
feels.
this.
You're not a true TikToker.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that it has like affected us in any other way than just our attention span? Like, do you think it's affected how we communicate with one another, how like our social skills, like anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. Like all this, like these new TikTok terms like slang, like these weird words, but like we use them every day now. And then also like the deep, going back to like how it's such a deep hole, like I've got so many more views on like crime, politics, anything that's happening, and one of the most especially being music. Like I've discovered so much more music.
Yes.
And it's like a blessing actually, because like where would I find these songs? And like it's songs I
you
listen to
feel more
every day.
connected to the
I know.
artist.
And they have like all these artists have these TikToks, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know they looked like this. Or, oh my God, I didn't know that they did these things. I'm like, I feel like they're best friends. But I'm not.
Yes.
But
I saw what Peach Pit looked like for the first time like a week ago, and I was like, pardon me?
like,
I was taken aback, needless to say. I was like, that's Peach Pit?
I have never heard of Peach Pit.
Okay. So, do we have anything that we believe that we can do to better manage our media consumption?
Holding each other accountable, I would definitely say. Like, I live with my cousin, and we have to be like, hey, How about we go outside to the park and actually see the sun for the first time? You know, like, let's go for a drive and view the world that we live in. But
Yeah, like, you know those things on your phone, like the locks, so like are shut off your phone after so many hours. Like, that's a good idea, like, I think, and it would definitely help us be on for less time. But it's like, what else would we, like, to me, it's like, what else can we do? Maybe go outside, or maybe just keep getting on TikTok. Like, that's the issue, though.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to stay, but it's like sometimes just you gotta get off. It's just very much addicting.
I was gonna say the same thing, basically. But like the app locks that iPhone has, where it's like you've reached your time limit,
Yeah.
and then you can't get back into that app for. I don't know really how it works because I don't use it.
Yeah, no.
it's like I know of it.
Like the video. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. And then I think that like society kind of has a big play in it because everyone's so phone driven.
Yeah.
And it's like it's text, you know, FaceTime, things like that. And I just think that that's a part of the issue is we're just so connected to our phones and
Yeah.
it's normal.
Like your whole life is in there.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And it's just normal, I guess, now
It's
in a
normal.
way.
That's crazy. Like, that's what I think about a lot, is how so long we went with like nothing like that, and then it just hit us all at once.
Yeah.
Like phones, internet, like all that technology just hit us at
Especially
once.
through the pandemic.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you were locked in your house.
Like, what else were we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Honestly. But I think that like the scrolling videos on TikTok, like you've been scrolling too long, that doesn't do anything. Like,
No, it's just
it
like
really
whatever.
doesn't. It's like, thanks for trying TikTok, but
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they're like, you've liked too many videos.
Right.
I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to watch them and not like them.
right.
Well, then maybe rather than restricting our time for these media outlets, then maybe perhaps trying to find a replacement for them, something else that can take up our attention.
Yeah.
Go on a bike ride. Let's go on a bike ride. Let's go walk outside for 5 minutes.
Go for a
Yeah.
hike.
I'm like the 1% of the population that actually reads.
I read too.
Yeah.
I
I
read.
also
There
read.
we go. Okay, well, now
I don't read.
I read occasionally.
I love to read. And I think it's like, it's really bad. I have Kindle on my phone, so I read on my phone and like on paper.
I can't read on my phone.
For long car rides, it's great. But I don't know. Is it better? Like, can you still say like it's bad to be reading on your phone because you're still looking at a screen? Like, what's the difference?
They'll judge us either way.
Yeah, pretty
honestly.
much.
And you could get rid of the blue light or whatever is.
Yeah, I have blue light reflecting glasses for that reason. Since I'm
Thank you guys for all those thoughts. That's it for today's episode of Student Voice. Thanks so much and have a great day.